Hello, welcome to the Skeins of Dreams Knitting Podcast. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. This is the corner of YouTube where I come and share my making journey with all of you. Mostly that's knitting. But today I will also talk a little bit about quilting. Thank you so much for checking out my video. If you're a new and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. I guess this is my first regular episode of 2023 because the last two episodes, one was a garment roundup from 2022 and the other was a whip roundup, all my unfinished objects. Thank you so much if you watched those episodes and if you reached out to me and if you commented on those episodes. Thank you so much for watching. So, I was having a little bit of a podcast mojo issue. I don't know. I was struggling with recording an episode. I know it hasn't been that long since my last one, so you're wondering what I was struggling with, but but I decided that I should just do it today, and because if I don't do it today, I don't have a free weekend until like end of February. And that would have been quite a while from my from my last episode, so I decided I should just go ahead and do it. And actually it's quite sunny, as you can see, in Pittsburgh today, so I checked the weather for tomorrow and it's rainy, so I thought, okay, maybe I should take advantage of the sunny weather. It's sunny as in the sun's out and it's bright, but it's still cold out. So I'm back at in my craft room. This place was a mess. It's still kind of a mess, but it was a bigger mess because I had this massive queen-sized quilt basting here. Like, I was making the quilt sandwich and then I realized that it wasn't looking right to me, so I had to redo the whole thing, and I was just procrastinating, and it was pending since the holidays. So there was a big table. I have a folding table that I used to do cutting and quilting and those kind of things. I had spread out the table. I had the quilt out on it, and I had to unpin the whole thing and repin everything. So it was just taking me a lot of activation energy to do that. So I finally got it done yesterday, and today my craft room is available to actually sit and record here. So we're back to the green wall. Yeah, so I've been knitting a lot. I've been knitting so much so that I kind of am forcing myself to do other things. At this point, I'm reading more nowadays, and I like I said, I was basting my quilt yesterday, so yeah, but I'm gonna share the quilt. Last year I think I did a quilting episode and I talked a little bit about my quilt then, but I actually never got to making the quilt sandwich and actually getting it. I want to hand quilt it, so it was just like in my head, it was like, okay, I have so much work on it, so I didn't have motivation to start it, but now I brought it out, so I have to do it. Anyway, we started the episode and I went off on a quilting tangent. I have a couple of finished objects today and a few works in progress. I always have a few works in progress, so we'll talk about that. It's going to be a low-key episode. I'm just here to give you an update on my knitting, and thank you so much if you've decided to spend some time with me today. So shall we get started? I'm not wearing a finished object actually. I decided to wear one of my favorite sweatshirty sweaters that I made in, I think, 2021. Yeah, so this is a design by Claire Borchard, who has the Autumn and Indigo Fibers yarn company. This is called the Redspire sweater. It has beautiful lace detail. It's a yoke sweater. I actually knit this one with extra ease, so it's kind of loose on me, but I really love how comfortable it is to wear. I wear it out as well, like I wear it to work sometimes. It's a very sweatshirty fit. I made this in Rauma Phenol PT2 in one of my favorite mustard yellows. I don't remember the number of the color because Rauma has only numbers to their colors, so I'm gonna put that on the screen here. But yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. My finished objects, one is for my mom and the other is kind of too warm to wear actually today. So maybe I can just get started with my finished objects. So my first finished object is my beautiful V-neck Semper Sweater. This is a design by Sophie, who is the knit pearl girl. I test knit this for her. The test knit started in December and it was due like end of January. I finished it in time and it is beautiful. I absolutely love the V-neck, and it's actually a folded V, so you knit like double this length. There's a pearl row here which makes the edge of the fold, and then you kind of tack it inside, so that gives you this thick folded V-neck. I absolutely love this sweater. It is so beautiful. I'm going to put pictures of me wearing it. I took some pictures for Instagram, so I'm just gonna use those, and you can see how it looks on me. I wore it to work one day and it was really nice. Like I wore not the one in the picture I put, I'm wearing a floral shirt, but I wore a white shirt and I wore this on that, and it looked perfect. Like it is such a throw on sweater. It's a raglan. Sophie's patterns are very beginner friendly. She has very detailed patterns and this was just one of those, and I didn't make any modifications to it. I just followed her instructions to the T, and I'm very, very happy with my make. I used the Fiber Company Acadia yarn for this. I think it's a wool alpaca, baby alpaca and silk blend, and this is one of my favorite yarns to work with. It's just something about this yarn on my needles. It just makes it a lot of fun to work with actually. It's a lot of fun. And I made a vest out of this yarn, a green vest called the Reflections Vest. That's a design by Heidi Kiermaier, and I made that last year, I think. So when I worked with that yarn, when I worked with the yarn, I was like, I need to use this again. And in fact, I have another sweaters quantity ready to become another sweater. Like I already know what sweater I want to knit in it. So this purple I had with me before, and I really wanted a staple garment in it, and it actually looks really good as this V-neck. I'm super happy with my yarn choice. So yeah, I finished it, and I guess I said everything I need to say about it. I love the yarn, I love the pattern. The test knit was a lot of fun to knit for Sophie. Yeah, so that's my Semper V-neck. And actually I think there is a crew neck version of the Semper sweater, and I want to make that as well. It's a higher neck, so it's like closed in your I think it's not, the neck is not too wide, so your t-shirt underneath doesn't show if you're wearing that, so that should be good. I'm not averse to having my t-shirt show, but it's like a simple raglan. I think I was a little more inclined to knit a V-neck. I actually want to knit another one of these because it was so easy to wear for work, and I'm realizing how sensitive I am in this area. So any yarn I can use, and if I make it a V-neck, I don't have any issues with the yarn around the front of my neck and everything. So, but this Acadia yarn is like soft. It is so soft. You almost feel like you're knitting with superwash, but it's not superwash. So I would highly recommend this yarn to someone who wants to use a non-superwash yarn but also is afraid of like the scratchy ones and everything. This is literally like knitting with superwash, but it's even better because it's not superwash. And even better as in I mean, I think there's no nylon content, so that's good. It has silk instead, so it's still strong and everything. So I really like it. Yeah, so that is my Semper sweater, and it's now done. And I've worn it once, and because of the alpaca content in it, it's actually quite warm. Like even the silk, I think the silk is kind of a moderating fiber. Like in the summers it's cooler, and in the winters it keeps you quite warm. Actually in India, like in the south and everything where it actually gets very hot, you do wear silk saris, but when you're wearing silk saris, you're like really warm in them, so they're good to wear in the winters as well because they kind of keep you warm. So yeah, so that was my Semper sweater. My next finished object is one of the projects that I showed in the last episode as an unfinished object. It was unfinished because I was traveling to India, and I was making this just before my trip to India. I thought I will give it to my mom when I get there, but I couldn't finish it. My trip was very chaotic, and then when I told my mom about it, she was like, oh, don't worry about it, so she's coming to visit us. I'm actually just trimming the ends off of it. I've woven the ends, but I always leave extra before I block, and once I block it, I can trim off the extra, just to make sure that, you know, if the garment stretches a little and then the ends, if they're cut exactly to the fabric, they sometimes come out of the fabric. So if you leave some extra and then you block it, then it stretches out, and then you can cut it exactly to close to the fabric. So I'm actually doing that while we speak. So yeah, so I was supposed to finish this before my trip to India, but that didn't happen, and my mom is actually coming to visit in March, and I decided, okay, you know what, I need to get this done because she will need something kind of warm to wear when she's here. So yeah, and now it's done. And when I showed it in my last episode as an unfinished object, I got a lot of comments saying, finish your mom's vest. Also because it was for my mom, and also because it was kind of close to getting done, and I was just like sitting on it. Anyway, so this is the Garter Gan Cardigan, and I have finished it. It is a high-low hem. It's a very simple cardigan. So there is a version with sleeves, and I had actually applied to test knit this, and I chose the vest version. So I did not put any sleeves on it, and there are still ends to be trimmed off over here. So yeah. I decided to leave the sleeves out because my mom can take it to India and she can wear it in India without any issues. I used Rowan Soft Yak DK, which is a cotton yak blend for this garment, and I absolutely love the yarn. It is so beautiful to work with. I really want to make something for myself in it. It looks really nice, like it has a sheen on it, which I don't know if you can tell on camera, but yeah. So the cardigan is worked like you cast on for the back, and then you knit until the armhole, bottom of the armhole, then you pick up for the fronts, and then you knit the front till the bottom of the armhole, and then you join in the round and knit in the round. There is a like a side stitch here to mark the sides of your garment, and it has beautiful details, like it has an I-cord edging everywhere. So after you're done with the cardigan, you're basically done. You don't have to do anything else on it. And there's short row shaping to shape the bottom. So the back is kind of longer than the front, and that's done by the short row shaping. So I'm actually going to wear this one and take a video of me kind of twirling in it so you can see how it looks. But I'm hoping once my mom's here that she can wear it, and then I can take a picture of her in it and post it on Instagram. That'll be cute. I knit the 60-inch bust, the 6th size that is. So I did knit a bigger size because it recommends a bigger amount of positive ease, so I decided I'd knit a bigger size. My mom is actually smaller on top than me, but she's bigger at the bottom, so we can actually share clothes all the time. I wear a lot of her clothes, especially when I go to India. I just don't take as many clothes with me. She has all these kurtas or tunic tops that you wear in India, and I just wear those. But yeah, I'm excited for her trip, and now her vest is done. So I do want to knit one more throw-on garment for her for when she's here. And I do have this beautiful blown-in cotton yarn, and I'm thinking of a poncho, but I haven't started anything, so obviously I will let you know when I start. I will show it to you. But yeah, so those were my 2 finished objects, and I hope I've said everything. Okay, I have not said everything. The Garter Gan is designed by Tori Knits NYC is her Instagram handle. Her name is Tori U. Beautiful designer. She has very popular patterns now. There's this hat with like huge dots on it, like large circles and everything, and I really want to make that, but I don't wear hats, so I need to find somebody who wants to wear a crazy hat. But yeah, Tori has her pattern was wonderfully written. I actually didn't make the deadline for the test knit. I apologized to her for it, and I let her know in advance that I've not finished it, but I was on my trip. I mean, I should have known better that I wouldn't have finished it on the trip, but you know me, I am way too ambitious for my own good. With knitting, I'm not ambitious with anything else, don't get me wrong, but yeah. I'm done now, so better late than never, and yeah, looking forward to seeing how it fits my mother. I hope, hopefully I've put some video of me wearing it. It's actually kind of nice. I might make one for myself. I'm just thinking, I feel like the cotton version is a little too, I would like an airy garter cardigan. So maybe if I make it for myself, I would use a different yarn that gives it a little less heavy look. But yeah, it's a very, very simple knit, and it looks like, you know, I love that you do the I-cord edging and everything, and so you don't have any finishing to do afterwards. So it's a nice make. I think my mom will like it. Definitely her style. She wears a lot of vests on top of her clothes when she's feeling cold. So it should be good. Alright, so those were my finished objects. Let's move on to works in progress. Now, which one should I start with? I will show you, just as an update, my Anthology Throw. This was a project I had started once I came back from my trip to India. I got an advent this year from the Fiber Fox. It's a dye, Georgie is a dyer based out of UK, I believe, and she does beautiful colors, and she had this enchanted forest, like you know how they do mood boards and everything, so she had shared a mood board last year, and I absolutely loved it. Rich saturated colors, and I absolutely had to get it, and I'm so glad I did. So, and then the super talented, most wonderful Helen Stewart, who is Curious Handmade, came out with this circular throw pattern, which I almost feel like a messenger here. A perfect and beautiful pattern, beautiful dyer with she had lovely work, and all I had to do was pair them together. Like, I don't feel like I did anything here. I'm just the messenger delivering the yarn to the right pattern. So this is how my throw is looking right now, and I'm sorry, but there is like 500 stitches on needles, so you can't see it completely, but the colors are flowing. I'm now into purples. I am absolutely in love with this section. It is so beautiful. I love this pattern, and Yana of Finnish Knitting Stories finished hers and it looks magnificent. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this. I'm trying to do like an hour on it every day. I haven't been too good about it, but I'm super happy with how it's looking and how it's coming along. And actually changing the colors keeps you interested in, like, you know, keeping up with it, because now I only have this much of the current color left, and then this is the next darker purple, and then it goes into like grays, and then it starts moving into blues and greens. So I'm really excited about getting to the next color always on this one. So yeah, so that's my update. I think I'd shown you before and I was somewhere over here, so I've definitely added a considerable amount. Now you should know each row is like 576 stitches right now. So yeah, I'm on row like 140 or something, and there's like a little over 200. So even though there's not a lot left, there is a lot left because of the size of the rows and everything. But I am super pleased with this make, and this is going to be so beautiful. I just have to keep all the boys away from it. I live with 3 boys, I would say, 2 cats and a husband, and I don't want any of them near this pretty thing. So this needs to have an exclusively for Megha tag on it. Definitely. Maybe I'll just carry it around and put it away when I'm not using it. So way too pretty for stinky men. I shouldn't say that, no. I mean, the cats are stinky, yes, absolutely. Baljit is not. Okay, moving on. That was my anthology throw. Then, I don't know if many of you remember, but when I was planning my projects to take to India with the big assumption that I was going to be able to knit while I'm in India, I have been thinking since October that I need to make myself a pair of fingerless gloves or mitts. Fingerless mitts but with a flap on it, so I can, like, when I'm driving, I like the fingerless because it gives me grip on my steering wheel, but then when I'm not in the car, I would like the tips of my hands to be, like, fingers to be covered. So I put it away for the longest time, and I put it away and I put it away, but now finally I got the mojo to make a pair for myself. So I started these, and I have finished one in the sense that I've finished knitting on the hand. I'm just about knitting the flap for the thumb, and then I will pick up these markers here are for picking up the flap, the top for the hand. So this is a free pattern by, I think the designer is Jenna C, and the pattern is called Chili Podsters, and it's actually meant for gloves, as in it will have divisions for your fingers, but I was not really interested in that, and I just wanted fingerless something to keep my hands warm, and this has worked out perfectly. Now from here above the knuckle is where you pick up and you knit the top for it. So I've just done the one, and I'm currently knitting the top for the thumb, because the thumb is also fingerless, and then it has a small flap for the thumb as well. So that's cute. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. Now the yarn for it is from Stash, and a very random combination. This yarn is actually Drops Alpaca, and it was part of my yarn swap with Rebecca last year. Was it last year? Yes, last year. And she sent me some pink yarn that from her stash that she wasn't gonna use, and I paired it with this Filcolana Tilia, I believe, and the color is some number 363, and the Drops Alpaca is 3140. This ball of Filcolana tilia was given to me by a friend, a local friend in Pittsburgh. Hi Anne, if you're watching. She and I exchanged a ball of mohair when we met because I'd never used tilia before and she hadn't used knitting for olive mohair. So after I finished my Cargill sweater, I had a ball of mohair left in that powder color. I think it was just the white, like off-white color, and I gave her that and she gave me this. She wasn't gonna use this. So thank you so much, Anne, and I am making beautiful fingerless convertible mittens with it. Yep. I like how the combination has turned out. Like the pink has become a little more yellow and mellow. But yeah, I'm happy. I have so many sweater quantities of yarn. I don't feel like breaking those sweater quantities, so I must say I actually don't have a lot of single skeins here and there of like mohair or something. Mohair is definitely something I buy only in sweater quantities because I don't wear hats, so I don't need it for a hat, and I only put them in sweaters. So, and then I don't want to break the sweater quantity because what if next year I am in the mood for this particular color. So yeah, that being said, I'm not gonna buy any more single skeins and everything. I don't need that. I should just like detach myself from one sweater quantity, split it, and then use it in everything accessory wise. Alright. So yeah, I think I said everything about that. And now my next work in progress is last episode or something I was talking about my future plans for 2023, and I mentioned that I'm really in the mood for a red sweater, and I did talk about using red yarn for the Kerr sweater, and I actually have the yarn and I swatched with it. I just haven't cast on the Kerr because currently I'm in this phase where everything I see I want to make. I also don't have any test knit deadlines, so that is an issue for me. When I don't have test knit deadlines, I just go mental. I cast on everything. I work on a million things. I've actually cast on a few other sweaters, which I'm not gonna show because I'm doing the sampling kind of a stage I'm in. I cast on everything I feel like, and then I work on what calls to me the most. It's weird, but that's what my mind is telling me to do. I know if you get overwhelmed by a lot of works in progress, this is not the podcast for you. I am a total chaotic person when it comes to creativity. I feel like I have some sort of a, I don't know, I don't want to put any labels on it, but this is what my process looks like. I do finish things. You have seen a lot of sweaters from me. It's just that to get to the sweater that I feel like finishing, I need to cast on a lot of them. Everything looks nice to me. Anyway, that being said, my next sweater, so I was talking about my obsession with having a red sweater, and then I'm also in the mood for a lot of texture. I actually have plans to cast on something heavily cabled, and in the next episode you might see what that is. I have two patterns that are going on in my head, and I might just cast on one of them soon. Meanwhile, I wanted a quick make and I wanted something textured, and I found this pattern by Ellie, who is Skein Deer or Skein Deer Knits on YouTube, Skein Deer on Instagram. She has this pattern called the Librarian Cardigan, and she also has a pullover version. So I'm knitting the cardigan version in this gorgeous red. Yes, my red sweater dreams are coming true. I had this yarn in stash, so I've not bought any yarn for this. This is actually, Leanne of the Nitty Stew podcast is hosting a stash busting make along this year called #BustingMyBalls 2023. A really fun hashtag for it, and this is going to be my entry for that. I'm super happy with the stitch definition of this yarn. and the color and everything is so pretty. This is Dirirum Natura Gilead in the Aubepine color. Is that how you pronounce it? Not sure. Very pretty color. I actually bought this. I only have 4 balls of this, and I bought this yarn for my best friend. I wanted to knit her a Christmas sweater in it, but I've knit her a few things, and I've only knit her things out of superwash, and she actually washes them. She puts them in her washer. So then I told her, oh, I have plans to knit something 100% wool for you for Christmas, but you can't put it in the washer. And she's like, no, don't even bother. I'm not gonna be very careful with my sweater, so don't give me 100% wool. So when she said that, I was like, oh, I need to repurpose this yarn for myself because I love the color so much, and I'm so happy with what happened with it. I'm so glad that I picked this sweater. The stitch definition is amazing. Like, this is, I can't stop looking at it, and I can't stop knitting on it. Super happy with this. It's supposed to be a fitted cardigan. It's a little cropped. Ellie wears it on a dress and it looks really cute. It also has a puffy sleeve option. I'm not sure I am that cute, so I might just do the regular sleeve, but it will still be a fitted cardigan over dresses or high-waisted pants. So it's a 16 stitch gauge. I'm knitting it on US 7, which is 4.5 millimeters. And yeah, that's everything I have to say about it. I've already finished one whole ball, and I have 3 more of these to go. So I might do the body to the length recommended because I have exact yardage, and I'm trying to finish it without actually using an extra skein. Like, I don't want to order another skein. The other major modification I've made is this cardigan is supposed to be steeked. Now, it's a textured cardigan, and every other row of the chart is a stockinette row. So the only reason I think Ellie has made this a steekable cardigan is because she doesn't want to purl on it. But given that I have exact yardage, and the fact that if you steek it, you have to cut the yarn and then it can't ever be anything else, I don't want to steek it because I don't hate purling. I actually enjoy it. It gives me a break from constantly knitting. And I'm a continental knitter and purler, so I don't mind the continental purls so much. I don't have rowing out issues because I've trained myself to get good gauge even when I purl. So yeah, that's why I'm not sticking it. I'm knitting it flat, and that's what I'm gonna do. It's a bottom up. You can see that obviously I'm working on the body first. So I will do the sleeves, the body, and then attach here and then do the shaping. During the shaping, there might be some modifications I have to carefully look at because it's not steeked and I'm knitting back and forth. But it's a cardigan. I think I should be able to do it. So if you have not knit this cardigan because you don't want to steek, you can knit it flat. And because I'm doing it, if you are going to do it and you want me to help you somehow, or we can do it together. Yeah, that is the Librarian Cardigan. So that is my major, like this, I've been working on this for like the last 3 days, but that's all. Like, I'm close to finishing the body, and then I have to do the sleeves because the gauge is like 16 stitches. It's like super quick. So those are the 3 whips I had thought of talking about today. I'm actually going to show you my quilt real quick, and then I'll talk about things that I want to cast on. This should be a segment always, like things I want to cast on, because I want to cast on a new thing every episode when I come and talk to you, but then I don't always cast on all those things, but I want to. This is going to be hard to show, but here is the quilt I pin basted yesterday. This is a log cabin quilt. It's just one big log cabin block. Like, I just kept going round and round and round with random strips of fabric. Like, I had decided the colors and I just kept like changing the color of the next strip that I was doing. I'm going to try and show you the back. but I've already like folded it, and it's like a huge king size thing. So this is the beautiful fabric at the back, and that's the front, and there's my batting. Now if you're a quilter, you'd be like, okay, yeah, you don't have enough batting sticking out at this edge. I know that. I messed up some calculations, and I will have to do some Frankenstein batting work. But because it's a hand quilted thing, I think I should be able to do it. I'm just going to attach a strip of batting, and I know if you're a quilter, you're probably like super cringing at me right now, but this has been in my cupboard for 2 years. 2 years ago I made the quilt top. It has finally got basted, and while basting I realized my batting was not big enough. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it work. And since I'm not giving it to a long arm quilter or something, I don't have to follow the 5-inch extra batting, 5-inch extra backing rules for it. I can do whatever I feel like. I would rather this be done than sit in my closet. So yeah, that was my quilt. Real quick update about my quilting shenanigans, and I am hand quilting this big thing. I have this vision of how to hand quilt it, because all these log cabin strips, I don't want to cross the seams anyhow, so I just want to stay inside the log cabin strip. I don't know, it looks nice in my head. I hope I can transfer that onto the quilt. This was a quilt kind of special to me because I started this the year Baljit and I actually moved in together. We had a really long distance relationship. Like, I think we were in a long distance relationship for like 8 years before we got the chance to live together. So it was like one of those things I did. I picked out fabric with him, and then I made the quilt top in like 2 days. I went really crazy, and then it sat in the closet for 2 years, and he doesn't ask about it, but I was like, you know, I should finish it. Like, it meant something to me. So yeah, I'm attempting to now finally finish it. I have the mojo. All right, let's talk about some things I really want to cast on next. So as you all know, there is a Lento cal going on. Amy of the Meaningful Stitch podcast and Rebecca from the Creabea podcast are hosting a Let's Lento cal, and there are so many lentos propping up everywhere that it's hard for me to resist. You know me. If there's a knit along, I'll cast on. I can't promise I finish, but at some point it will finish. But I have this yarn in stash, which is the exact yardage required. It is by a beautiful dyer, and I really want to work with it. So I have this beautiful yarn from Stranded Dye Works. Jude, who dyes amazing yarn, of course. Jude's podcast was one of the first ones I started watching when I discovered podcasts. So I really love this update that I got yarn from it. This colorway is called Patisserie, and I have a BFL nylon base and then the Suri alpaca base in it, and it is such a beautiful neutral but with a lot of fun speckles and stuff on it. So it's a very pretty yarn, and this is what I really want to make a Lento for myself. And while yes, I want this to be the year of color, I feel like this will look really cute. I don't do a lot of light colored garments. I did a few last year, and I was talking about how I don't like, but I think this is like bright enough for it to be nice. I don't like the duller ones, but this should be bright enough. But I'm really itching, and I'd been thinking in my head, and when I see the yarn, I get more excited about casting on. And right now is the first time I knew about this yarn. Obviously, it's in my stash, I know about it, but looking at it up close and personal, I think this is gonna get wound up into skeins and get cast on. So you might see that next time. Now, the other thing I really want to make is an all-over cable garment. I have this beautiful Briggs & Little Regal yarn in this copper pink color. This is perfect. Like, this is exactly the color it is that is it showing up on the camera. And I want to knit the row cardigan. It's a pattern by Michelle Wong for Brooklyn Tweed. And I think I have enough yardage in stash, like I have enough yardage of this for that cardigan, and I think it'll be really pretty. I did think about making it in like a charcoal or something, but I don't want to buy yarn for it, so I think I'm just gonna stick with this, and it will be a beautiful cardigan. I mean, I think I'm gonna like it in this color as well. So that might happen. I'm not sure if I'll cast on immediately because there are so many other things happening right now, knitting wise and life wise. So I may or may not, but this is the portion of my podcast where I just like keep dreaming to no end in sight. So please take it with a pinch of salt. And the other thing that is going to happen this year is I was visiting with my college professor last weekend. With him and his wife, we went to their place for dinner, and he was wearing the vest I made him. I made him a vest, I think it was last year, was it? Or the year before that? No, it was last year because I talked about it on the podcast. So I made him a vest. The pattern was his vest by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees, and I made it in this beige color. It was Fiber Company Lore yarn, beautiful 100% lamb's wool yarn, and I made him a vest, and he wears it a lot. Like, he's very careful with it, but he wears it quite a bit. So because he's so knit worthy, I asked him if he would like a cabled jumper, and he said yes. So I asked him his color preference, and he said it's been a while since he had a nice blue sweater, because his mother used to knit for him. Now his mom is quite, she's much older, so she's not knitting him cable jumpers anymore, but his mom used to knit for him. And I actually met his mom when she visited them last year, and such a beautiful, lovely lady to talk to. I showed her my yarn stash, and it just blew her mind, because I don't think she is so indulgent. She makes one project and then like moves on to the next, and then gets yarn for the next one. So I gifted her a few yarns from my stash because it was such a pleasure meeting her, and I knew she would really appreciate it. So she's sending me pictures of all the things she has made with it. She lives in South Africa, so super nice to actually be able to spend time with my college professor's mom. So yeah, anyway, I went off on a tangent, but he said he'd like a blue cable jumper, and I sent him some pattern options, and he picked the Oyster pullover. I think this is also by Michelle Wong, isn't it? Or is it Julie Hoover? I think Michelle Wong. I'm gonna put it on the screen. So yeah, I have a lot of cables on my mind. I don't know why, but suddenly this year I'm like, cables. Someone in my last episode talked about this whole phenomena as look squirrel. I like that. Like, you're so easily distracted and someone shouts look squirrel, and you just like your attention is diverted. That's me, basically. I am the look squirrel poster child, I think so. Only with knitting. I'm a very, I don't want to make blanket statements. I am quite organized in the rest of my life, I think so, but not with knitting. Not with knitting, sewing, quilting, whatever creative pursuits. I am not like that. I'm making this blanket statement. I don't know if my mother or Baljit watch this video, they're going to be like, no, you're a mess everywhere. I don't want to hear that. Anyway, so I think I already spoke about 4 different patterns. Did I? Anyway, there's going to be some cast-ons, but I am really into the Librarian Cardigan that I'm knitting on, so I think that will get done for sure. I'm super into it. All the texture is calling me suddenly. Alright, I think that's all I had knitting wise. I do want to mention a couple of podcasts here. My new and dear friend Ducky, who is the host of the beautiful podcast Wool and the Forest. Lovely, beautiful soul from Sri Lanka originally, and she now lives in Pacific Northwest, I believe. And her creativity, her podcast, her work that she does with fiber and fabric both are just amazing. She is such a gentle and beautiful soul, and she has said so many kind things about me on her podcast, and I love watching her work, and I chat with her sometimes on the side, and we often dream of sitting together and drinking chai and knitting and talking. So someday that will happen, Ducky. I'm really willing, putting out my positive thoughts in the universe for that to happen. So if you've not watched Wool and the Forest, it is definitely a must watch, I would say. And then I also watched Sarah, who is the Black Sheep Knitter on Instagram, and I absolutely loved watching her episodes. I think she has 2 episodes out. I think so. I watched 2, so I don't know if she has another one out yet, but I will be watching her podcast as well. Such a fun podcast to watch. Her energy is it just shines through the screen, and I really enjoy her videos. Thank you so much for your beautiful work, Sarah. I really thoroughly enjoy watching your podcasts. So yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to mention. Thank you so much for watching the video and sticking with me until the end if you have. I'm not sure, again, I always say this, but I should stop saying it about the length of the video. I think I've been doing fine. Thank you so much for supporting this channel by watching my videos, subscribing and liking the videos as well. I am really thankful for this beautiful making community that we have built together. So until next time, stay safe, take care, and happy crafting. Bye.